Parshat Chayei, which deals with two predominant topics. The first one is, of course, Sarah Imenu's passing. Avraham Avinu's diligence, his dedication to make sure she receives a honorable burial. That's topic number one. And topic number two, which is the reason many of you here tonight, Shidduchim. Because in this week's parasha, we have the first recorded Shidduch process in the Torah, in Jewish history. Now, it's wonderful. Now, but I got to tell you something. Okay? I know what it's like to be single. Okay? I know the pressures that come with being single. I know all of the, the outside tension that comes with being single. It's amazing. From the time we're little kids, we receive this pressure. Every time your mother wants you to do something, do me a favor, pick up your shoes, Aris, Hatan, Kala, right? By the way, even in schools, in kindergartens, right? When a student has a birthday, they dress them up in a kala dress, and they start dancing. Okay? You should have seen me in my kala dress. No, I'm just joking. Anyway, but a person has to understand that these pressures are inundated and planted in us from the time we're very young. So it comes to no surprise that when we reach marriageable age, then the pressure mounts. So tonight, Bezat Hashem, I would like, Bezat Hashem, to give you some tips on what to look for and what not to look for, what to pursue and what to abstain from when looking for your zivug. Everybody ready? Let's get started. By the way, this is our 4th anniversary doing this class. Our 4th time that we are conducting this type of shiur, Bezat Hashem. So we hope that you find it to be very enjoyable. Let's get started. So first of all, we'd like to start with a beracha. My beracha to you, sometimes my berachot work. Okay? If not, there's no refunds. But sometimes my berachot do work. My beracha, Bezat Hashem, for everybody here, at least the ones that are not married, Bezat Hashem, you should find your zivug hagun bekarov. And Bezat Hashem, you should build a bayit ne'eman b'Yisrael. And by the way, you know the rule is, if you marry someone from this class, you're not allowed to have your wedding on Monday night. Okay? There's no weddings on Monday. By the way, if you make your wedding on Monday night, the class is going to be at your wedding. Okay? I have no problem talking to 1,000 people. It's very good. Okay? So Bezat Hashem, you should have your weddings this year to the right person. Amen. Good. Let's get started. So tonight we're going to give you 6 tips on dating. 6 wonderful tips, very important tips. So if you're single, take notes. And if you're a parent of a single eligible person, take more notes. Ready? Let's get started. Avraham Avinu comes to Eliezer, and he tells Eliezer the following. Listen very carefully. Here we go. Let's go. Parshat begins like this. I know the Parshat. Thank you very much. Ready? Here we go. Vayomer Avraham elavdo, Zikan beto Moshe b'chol asher lo. Avraham Avinu comes to his Eved, right, who's the elder of his house, that takes care of everything that he has. Simna yadecha tachat yedechi. V'ashbiacha b'nai lo hashamayim v'lo haaretz. I'm going to make you swear not to take a girl from Kanaani, asher nochi yoshev b'kirbo, because I want you to go to my land, to my birthplace to live, right? V'lakachta isha lebni leYitzchak. I want you to go there. I want you to take a lady, a woman, from my son for Yitzchak. What do you mean? What happens if that woman doesn't want to come over here? You want me to bring your son back to the land where you left? So Avraham says, listen, whatever you do, don't return my son over there. Don't worry, Borei Olam, who took me from my father's birthplace and brought me over here, he's going to send his malach before you. You're going to take a woman from my son from there. Misham. And if she doesn't want to come with you, and she doesn't want to walk behind you, all bets are off. Your swear is null and void. You have nothing to worry about. Just don't bring my son over there. Now I have a very big question. What is Avraham Avinu saying? Avraham Avinu says, listen, don't worry about it. Don't worry. God's going to send the zivug. God's going to send the nasib. God's going to send the one. And then Avram turns and says, but wait a second. If she doesn't want to walk behind you, then you're clean. What do you mean? If God is sending the zivug, what do you mean she might not want to walk behind you? If God's sending me the zivug, that's the one. Of course she's going to want to walk behind me. What was Avram saying? I don't understand the balance of Avram Avinu's words. Is it God sending the zivug? Or is it possible that we're going to miss that zivug? And the rabbi's right. There's a Gemara Masechet Sotah. And the Gemara Masechet Sotah brings two different braitot. The first braitot comes, it says that 40 days before a person is born, there's a bat kol, a heavenly voice. And that bat kol comes and screams, announces, Bat Ploni la Ploni. This girl's going to marry this guy. Unbelievable. But there's another Gemara. And the Gemara comes and writes like this. Ready? Here we go. They only match you up with a person according to your actions. So understand. Does God predetermine who I'm going to marry? Or maybe it's based on my actions. Which one is it? Says the Gemara, La Kasha. Habezivug Rishon, Habezug Sheni. One's talking about the first match, and one's talking about the second match. What's going on over here? So the rabbis explain, very simple. There is an announcement that's made 40 days before you're formed. And Borei Olam comes and says, listen, this girl's going to marry this boy. But that only happens if the boy and the girl achieve everything that they're supposed to achieve before they meet. If the man fulfills his potential and everything he's supposed to do before he meets that girl, he's going to meet that girl. But the girl also has to do the same. Everything that's required, everything that's possible. In order for her to grow to the point where she's fitting for that person, then she'll meet that person. But if not, then she meets someone who is fitting for her. Someone that's lefi ma'asav, according to their actions, according to their ways, according to their deeds. And I'll give you an example. I think I spoke about it once. Imagine you go after 120 years. And after 120 years, they come up to Shamayim. Chacham Ovadia, who's in Beit Din Shamala right now, he comes and he says, listen, you want to see who your wife was supposed to be? And he turned around and said, what do you mean supposed to be? Who was I buying anniversary gifts for the whole of my entire life? What are you talking about? And he said, let me show you. Before you were born, they said, but Ploni la Ploni. He says, okay, I know. Isn't that my wife? I said, no. Because even though you did what you had to do, but she didn't. She didn't fulfill her potential. She didn't work to the max. She didn't better herself to the point where she was fitting for you. Let me show you what came of that girl. And they go up to the video screen, a nice, beautiful screen like this, okay? And sure enough, they rewind, and you take a look, and sure enough, there's a girl on an electric guitar with purple hair and 2 nose rings. That was the voice that you were supposed to marry. But because she didn't do anything with herself, she wasn't fitting for you. 1 second. Avraham Avinu understood Yitzchak. And he realized Yitzchak did everything that he was supposed to do to reach that point where he could wed that person that was designated for him. So he tells Eliezer, listen, God's going to send that girl to Yitzchak. But if you are with the girl and then you say, please come with me. She doesn't want to walk behind you. What do you mean she doesn't want to walk behind you? It means she wants to walk next to you. She wants to walk in front of you. And the rabbi's right. It's not sanua that a man should walk behind the woman. So if this woman, she's walking in front of you, that means she didn't fulfill her potential. And therefore, that's not the girl from Yitzchak. Because Yitzchak Avinu fulfilled his potential. He filled everything he needed to be. He matched his quota. He was ready for that real girl. So if you find a girl who's not there, that's not the girl for my son. But generally, most of us don't fulfill our potential. And therefore, ladies and gentlemen, tip number 1, if you want a good zivug, you got to be a good person. So before I go out and I look for that shidduch, I look for that match, I look for that person, I got to make sure that I'm the person that I want to match up with. I got to make sure that I'm at the top of my game. I'm going to classes. I'm doing chesed. I'm giving tzedakah to Rabbi Zeytouneh. Whatever. Okay, but right? And if I'm doing that adequately, then tip number 1 is fulfilled. So again, tip number 1 is I got to make sure that I better myself. before I go to a Shetchanit, before I go to a Shetchan, before I go and ask somebody, do you know somebody for me? I got to make sure I'm at my optimum game. You know, there's some people who tell me, Rabbi, I want a girl. I want to make sure she's going to cover her hair. I want to make sure she's tzinuah. I want to make sure she's very religious. So I say, that's wonderful. And I'm so happy. But let's focus on you for a second. Are you at that level? Well, of course I am. Really? Do you pray every day? Well, I pray twice a day. That's very nice. Do you learn? I do learn. Really? When? I don't know, every other Thursday. That's very nice. But do you think a girl that you're looking for is going to want to be with you? So, again, tip number one is, if I want a person of top caliber, I got to make sure that I'm at top caliber. Okay? Tip number one. Tip number two. Eliezer comes and he employs a test. And he comes and says, Borei Olam, listen, I'm going to go up to the girl, right? Whoever the girl is. And I'm going to tell her, listen, anyone, please give me something to drink. If she gives me to drink, and then she gives my Gemalim to drink, that is the one that you want for Yitzchak Avinu. So listen what happens. Okay? Sure enough, he comes, he sees a girl, and the girl's a pretty girl. Tovat Mareh, wonderful. He goes up to him and he employs that tactic, that test. And she passes with flying colors. She gives him to drink, and then after he finishes drinking, she says, listen, I'm going to give you camels to drink as well. And she goes and she gives that water to those camels. What does he do? Everybody ready? Listen very carefully. Right? Lishtot. All of a sudden, when he sees that the Gelim stop drinking, he comes and takes out nose rings, which are the weight of a beka. He comes, he takes out 2 bracelets and he puts on her hand. Every one of them was worth 10 zahav. Comes Rashi and says, why do you give her those specific jewels? What do you give her? You gave her a nose ring and you gave her 2 bracelets. The nose ring was what? The weight of a beka. Listen very carefully. Says Rashi, beka remez l'shikle Yisrael. It's alluding to the shekels of Israel, the machatzit shekel. Beka l'gulgulet, which was also the weight of a beka. 1 second. Shnei tzimidim remez l'shnei luchot mitzumadot. And the 2 bracelets represented shnei luchot habrit. 1 second. Comes Rabbi Yosef Adis. And he says, I don't understand the illusion. I don't understand the allegory. What was Eliezer trying to tell Rivka? What was he alluding to her? What was he trying to give her? What message was he trying to transmit? Says Rav Yosef Adis. What does it mean, machatzit shekel? I'll read it to you. Everybody ready? Listen very carefully. Rav Yosef Adis writes that a machatzit shekel, why did every Jew give a machatzit shekel? Because a person has to realize, I'm not complete in myself. Me, myself, I'm not complete. Listen very carefully. וצריך להבין, לכאורה מה הקשר בין עניין השידוכים למחצית השקל? What is the connection between מחצית השקל and שידוכים? ונראה לפרש, הנה עם ישראל כשנתנו כל מחצית השקל, בין עני ובין עשיר, גם הוא זה שהתאחדו כל עם ישראל בלב אחד כשאחד. When Bnei Yisrael gave that half a silver, what happened? They unified. Because everybody gave. ועל כן אמר אלiezer, כשאדם הוא בפני עצמו הוא רק חצי. A person on his own is only half a person. אבל כשאיש ואישה מתאחדים בקשר של נישואים וחיים יחד בשלום ושלווה, כל אחד משלים את רעהו. But a marriage is not being about a singular half. Marriage is about completing the other. What do you mean to complete the other? You ever see a puzzle? Anyone ever do puzzles? A bunch of nerds. We know you all did puzzles. You're scratching me. Okay? Everybody did puzzles. Okay? Layla, you did puzzles? Where's Deborah? Deborah, you did puzzles? You're probably doing one now on your phone. Okay, that's okay. Okay? 1 second. How does a puzzle work? A puzzle, not one piece is a perfect square. Otherwise, there's no puzzle. That's easy to put together. But puzzles have bulging pieces and pieces which are deficient. And that's the way it is in a marriage. When I'm looking for a partner, for a ben zug, for someone who's going to be my lifelong compadre, I got to make sure that I seek, I search for, I try to locate, not someone who's like me, but someone who completes me. In other words, I got to take a look at my midot, at my life, and take a really honest look at who I am. and look for what I'm missing in life, and then look for someone who is going to complete that, who has that midah. I'll give you an example. Everybody knows, what was Yitzchak's midah? What was Yitzchak's biggest midah? Yitzchak's midah was Geburah. Yitzchak was known for his strict justice. That was Yitzchak. So Eliezer, when he's going to find a match for Yitzchak, did not look for Geburah. He didn't look for strict justice. He looked for chesed, which is the antithesis of Geburah. Why? Because if you have too much Geburah, it's not good. It's too strict. And you have too much chesed, it's not good. It's too lenient. So therefore, Yitzchak, you're a very strict person. Of course, Yitzchak fulfilled and committed acts of kindness. But his main MO, his mode of operation was Geburah. Your match has to be someone who is completely chesed. When I'm finding a match for myself, I can't find someone who's like me. I got to find someone who matches me. So I'll give you an example. On Shabbat, we had guests in my home. Okay? So I'm talking to my guest, and my guest says, Rabbi, you'll never guess. I said, what? She goes, you have no idea how I clean my house. I said, I care how you clean your house? What do you mean I don't know how you clean your house? I said, listen, it's a process. And her husband's looking at me, and he's doing like one of these, Okay? Listen what she does. First, she has no carpeting. Floor. Okay? So you ladies don't know how to clean a floor. Right? You sweep, you mop, good. Not this lady. Oh, you have no idea what I'm talking about. Okay, it's good. Okay? Listen what she does. First, she vacuums the floor. No one here thinks that's crazy? Okay? If you vacuum your floor, please raise your hand. Okay, please go home. Thank you. Okay? 1 second. You vacuum your floor? David? I don't think so. I'm going to ask your wife. Okay? 1 second. So, first, she vacuums the floor. After she vacuums the floor, she sweeps the floor. Then she mops the floor. So far, this sounds normal to you? Good. Because then she dries the floor. Now, 1 second. For me, that's insane. Mrs. Cohen, does he really sweep the floor? Yeah, he doesn't touch the floor over here. Okay, 1 second. So, I don't understand. She's crazy. How many things you do to get a clean floor? So I said, listen, do you mind if I join you? B'ezrat Hashem? I want to see this phenomenon. Okay? She'll come to my house anytime. I'm going to come with a bunch of crumbs. No problem. Okay? After she vacuums, just put a few more there. Okay? Her husband is the opposite. He's very chilled. It balances out. Because if you have 2 neat freaks, Shema Yisrael, you don't want to walk in there. Okay? And if you have 2 slobs, also doesn't work. I don't know if any of you know this. I'm sure you can't tell. I like to talk. Okay? I'm a big talker. My wife, when I met her, was more of a quiet person. Okay? Now, my wife talks more, and they don't let me talk in my house anymore. Okay? Because we balanced down. And because I talked so much, I caused my wife to start talking more. And because she was so quiet, she calms me down. Okay? By the way, my anniversary is on Wednesday. Isn't that nice? Mazal tov, thank you so much. Okay, great. Because the person has to understand that if I want a good match for me, it's got to be someone that completes me, not someone that's like me. Imagine you have 2 blabbermouths. 2 blabbermouths. 2 people who love to talk and they marry each other. Who's ever listening? And imagine you have 2 people that are very quiet. You ever go into a house where 2 people are very quiet? I did it. I was once invited to dinner at a very quiet couple's house. It was very interesting. I was sitting down. So, Mr. Cohen, how are you? Good. Mrs. Cohen, very nice. I like the chicken. Thank you. How do you live like that? Shema Yisrael. Okay? It has to be balanced. Because if the marriage is not balanced, then you have problems. So again, tip number 2. The person that I'm looking for has to match what I am. Not to be like me, but to match who I am. Tip number 3. It's interesting. Avraham Avinu comes and he tells Eliezer, please, don't take any girls from Canaan. I don't want any girls from Canaan. If you're going to take a girl from Haran. Make sure that they're from Haran, not from Canaan. 1 second. They were both not Jewish. The girls from Canaan are not Jewish. The girls from Haran are not Jewish. What's the difference? Why are you so strict? And what's the impetus of taking girls from Haran? Why was that a priority? So I want you to hear what the words of Rav Chacham Tzion Masaton Alav Shalom, the great Rabbi of Eliezer. He comes and he says a phenomenal thing. Listen very carefully what he says. He comes and he says the following. Everybody ready? Listen like this. Ve'ilu anshe Haran mekom lato shel Avraham Avinu hayu yiduim betor anashim ba'alei lev tov. The people of Haran, even though they weren't religious, they didn't believe in Borei Olam, they didn't profess, they didn't believe in, they didn't live, they didn't espouse the belief of Borei Olam. But there were people with good hearts. And because there were people with good hearts, they were machnisei ochim. He says, by the way, even Lavan ha'arami, what happens when he sees Eliezer? What does he say? Bo beruch Adonai. Lavan, the charlatan. But he had a good heart. Says Chacham Tzion, when you're looking for a family, look for the family that espouses, that embodies the traits that you want in your lady, in your spouse, in your husband. Not only in the girl. Because it says Chacham Tzion, you're listening to what I'm saying, Mrs. Arazi? You're listening to what I'm saying? Because character traits are hereditary. They pass from one generation to the next. Emunah doesn't. Emunah you can teach anybody. Belief, trust in Borei Olam, the Creator, that could be taught to anybody. It could be instructed. But midot, character traits, the way a person conducts himself, that's hereditary. That passes from father to son, father to son. And therefore, when I'm looking at a spouse, I'm not only supposed to look for a spouse, I'm supposed to look for the families, but not for what we think. You know, sometimes we take a look for family. We want to find a good family. And we look for family when it comes to money. Right? That's what you need in a good family. Correct? Wrong. Listen to the words of Rabbi Avigdor Miller. Rabbi Avigdor Miller comes and says something unbelievable. Says Rabbi Miller, when you're looking for a spouse, look for someone not who has money and not who's poor, but someone who is happy with what they have. A person who's able to live content with what he already possesses. You know what I'm saying, girls? That's what you're supposed to look for in a person. Not someone who's always jealous of other people and talking about other people, envious of other people. But someone who is happy, content, acclimated to what he already has. Because I want to tell you something. If they're not happy now, they're not going to be happy in 20 years. They won't be happy in 40 years. They won't be happy in 60 years. So therefore, when I'm looking into family, I should find a family that espouses the same trait. Someone who's happy with what they have, content with their belongings. And I want to tell you something else. There's one trait, ladies and gentlemen, that if you're dating such a person, you see a tint of this trait, you got to cancel completely the zivug. And that is anger. If you see that your match, if you see that that person you're dating, if you see that person that you're going out with, if you see that person that you're engaged to, has a tint of anger, and they get angry, cancel the zivug. Cancel it. Because if they're angry now, they're going to be angry in the future as well. But today I'm going to take it a step further. And that is if you see a family that doesn't have the traits that you're looking for in your zivug, be very wary of that family. Be very wary of that individual. So again, tip number 3 is very simple. Look at the family for traits that you're looking for yourself. You know, I'll give you an example. They tell a story, a relative of mine, who in Lebanon was going out with a lady. And this lady was, Baruch Hashem, a very fine woman. A very fine woman. And he wanted to impress her. So he wanted to buy her flowers. So sure enough, he goes home and he gets, showered and he gets dressed up. He goes to the flower store to buy her flowers. And there's no flowers. The flower store is closed. So he says, okay, let me go to the candy store to buy her candy. And the candy store is closed. And now the man has no idea what he's going to do. He goes from place to place. He's thinking, maybe I should hustle from the garden. Maybe I'll take it from the garden, right? All of a sudden, it hits him. I know where I can get flowers, and even the person who owns the flowers won't mind. Anybody know where he went? The cemetery. Okay. By the way, girls, smell your flowers when you get them, okay? He went to the cemetery. Why? Because the girl was so high maintenance. She was so difficult to impress that he had to resort to going to the cemetery. They don't mind. And taking flowers from them. I'm scared I'm giving Maris some tips to give to that date. But if I'm dating someone who's samech bechalko, someone who's happy with what they have, with what they possess, with what they amassed already, then I don't have to take drastic measures to make them happy. That means I don't have to steal to take them on vacation. And I don't have to be dishonest so I can make a bigger bar mitzvah or a bigger wedding or I live a more lavish lifestyle. I can live on my level because I know that my wife or my husband will be content. So that's number 3. Number 4. This is my favorite one. Okay? Don't be superficial. That means looks are very important. And they are very important. Okay? And I'll prove it to you. What's the first thing that the Torah records about Rivka Imenu? What's the first thing that the Torah says about it? Oh, take a look. Everybody ready? Here we go. So, Eliezer comes. Vayi hu terem kela ledaber. Eliezer is talking to Borei Olam. והנה, רבקה יוצאת אשר יולדה לבתואל בן מלכה אשר נחור אחי אברהם וחדל שכמה והנערה, the first description of רבקה אמנו is what? טובת מראה מאוד. She was beautiful. בתולה ואיש לא ידעה. She was a beautiful woman. Why does the Torah record that she was a beautiful woman? I don't understand. Why is it important? I thought looks are not important. No, looks are important. But a person has to understand. What does it say the next pasuk? So for a moment he focuses on her beauty. And right after that, he starts the test. Beauty is wonderful. You have to be attracted to your spouse. But it's not the most important. Yes, there's got to be some sort of attraction. But the second you see that fits, now focus on the rest of the person. Let that subside. Put it on the side. And now focus on the essence of the person. The midot. Is that what I want? Does that befit me? Are we going to acclimate? Is there going to be peace and harmony? And if so, then you could proceed. But just a pretty face, I want to tell you something. Looks change. I'll tell you a great story. Approximately 1 year before I got engaged, 1 year, I lost, I think, 70 pounds. 70 pounds I lost. Okay? I used to run the track. Okay? I used to, do the dumbbells. Now I deal with a lot of dumbbells, but I used to lift them. Anyway, so 1 second. Right? And I actually lost 70 pounds. And then I met my wife. And we went out. And that's a whole different story. One day, maybe I'll tell it to you. And after a lot of cajoling and blackmailing, she married me. Okay? And 6-7 months after we got married, my wife said, Baruch Hashem, I married you. That's the only time she ever said that, by the way. Sometimes she says, I wish I can't even find it. But, and she comes to me and she says, I want you to know something. My whole life I prayed to God and I said, Borei Olam, please, I don't want to marry a person who is overweight. I don't want to marry a person who's overweight. Could you imagine? I was overweight. And a year before I got married, I lost 70 pounds. But ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you something. 3 years after I got married, I gained 45 pounds. Is that amazing? Because looks change. Ladies and gentlemen, I could almost promise you, 17 years ago, I had hair. Okay? It was there. Looks change. People don't change. So yes, it's important you have to be attracted to the person you're marrying or dating. But if it's only looks, that's malleable. But a person's inside, it's very hard to change. And therefore I got to make sure that it matches what I want. Don't be superficial. I'll tell you something else. There's a Gemara Masechet Ta'anit. Listen very carefully. Gemara Masechet Ta'anit says the following. Everybody ready? Here we go. Kavav Amud Aleph. Amud Bet, sorry. And the Gemara writes about Tu B'Av. And Tu B'Av, what would happen to B'Av? All the girls would come out, right? And they would borrow clothing, white clothing, and they would put it on. And they would walk around the vineyard. Shadchanim are listening to this. And every boy would come and pick the girl that he wanted to go out with. And my question is, 1 second. By the way, what do you think? It was like a nightclub? Chas v'shalom? What does everyone think? Everyone says, Rabbi, what are you talking about? Shadchanim. Look what happened in Tu B'Av. So I'll tell you what happened. It wasn't just you went up to a girl and say, hey, like, what's up? No. By the way, I used to have the best pickup lines. Okay? I used to say, you know what? Could you please move over? You're stepping on my heart. You like that one? Okay. When I told it to my wife, she said, nerd, right? That's okay, fine. But 1 second. You think that's what happened at Tu B'Av? Of course not. What happened? A guy would come and he would see a girl. He'd say, you know what? That one's for me. He would go up to a shadchan and say, please, that's the girl I want. Please make it happen. It wasn't haphazard. It wasn't like, who has the best line? Let's go. That's not what happened. It was systematic. And many shidduchim transpired and unions came together from that occurrence. But what were they wearing, ladies and gentlemen? What was the attire, the knockout outfit that these ladies wore? Borrowed, simple, white clothing. Why? I go out on a date, okay? When I used to go out on a date, forget it. I was dressed to kill. Anyone who looked at me died. No, that's one. Okay, fine. But that's not what happened. Don't laugh, it's not nice. Okay? 1 second. I used to put on my nice shirt. I used to put on my what is it called? Cologne. I used to gel my hair. Allah shalom. I used to do nothing. Okay? I used to do a lot of things. But the people in the Gemara, those ladies said, God, I don't need the knockout outfit. That's not what is important. Says Rav Dessler, the women, you know what was on the top of their mind? I don't want to embarrass my friend. Because I know my friend doesn't have an outfit like I do. And therefore, if I'm going to dress up fancily, she's not going to get married. People are going to look at me and not her. So we want to even the playing field. Everyone dressed up in the same manner. But I think there's another explanation also. Why did the girls all dress up in simple white clothing? Because the girls were telling the boys, I want you to look past the clothing. It's not the clothing that's important. It's not what's essential. It's not the exterior. Start looking at my attributes, my characters. Start looking at my personality. Stop looking at my clothes. Because superficiality, unfortunately, blinds us from looking and seeing what's important and essential in a marriage. And therefore, when I'm looking for somebody, don't get blinded by the superficiality. When I was dating, I thought I was cool. I wasn't, by the way. I thought I was. Okay? So I used to have shoes. Now, everyone knows that I'm very into my name. I like Zeytounehs. Like everything Zeytouneh. So I really was a nerd. I'm sorry, you're going to have to forgive me, please. When I was a teenager, are you just saying I'm still a nerd? Is that what you're saying? That's what you just said? It's true, but don't say it. Okay, so 1 second. So I used to wear sneakers. And I thought they were cool. They were Reeboks. Do Reeboks even exist anymore? They really do? They do. But I wanted to be cool, so I called them Z-Boks. Yeah, this is very sad. The story's not going anywhere. And I used to wear my Z-Boks on my date. And I used to tell my wife, Well, she wasn't my wife yet. I don't know why she married me. Anyway, but you see these shoes? She goes, yeah. I said, you know what they are? She goes, yeah, they're Reeboks. I said, no, they're Z-Boks. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what got into me. Okay? But my wife saw past the crazy taste and the corny jokes. And she married me. A miracle from Shamayim, for sure. Okay? Why are you saying yes? That's not nice. But we got to transcend. We got to look past. We got to avoid superficiality. And see who really are we dating. Good. So that's tip number 4. Tip number 5, this is my favorite. Tip number 5, this is my absolute favorite. Ready? Here we go. Says the Piluetz. V'im lo yimatzeh be'iro. Let's say a person's pursuing a mate, and they don't find it in their city. Yelech me'ir le'ir. U'mimedina le'medina. Go from one city to the next, from one state to the next. V'yasir mazveh busha levakesh isha. Take off and remove any obstacles from finding a wife. Because that is the goal, to get married. She's the epitome of Kedusha, that zivug, that match. Ladies and gentlemen, you could ask any matchmaker, and we have several matchmakers here tonight. Matchmakers, raise your hand, by the way. There you go. There you go. How are you? Sally, you became a matchmaker, Sally? Very good, nice. Hold on a second. Anytime there's some sort of singles event, for some reason, you get 150 ladies and 2.5 men. Now, by the way, I want to tell you something. Simple mathematics, the 2.5 men are brilliant. Because if there's 150 ladies, 2.5 men, there's a great chance they're going to get married. But for some reason, all of these other guys don't show up. Why not? Nah, Tio. It's not for me. I'm embarrassed. Says the Piluetz. Don't be embarrassed. You don't find it here, go somewhere else. You don't find it by this shadchan, go to the next shadchan. And if you don't find that shadchan, and go to the next shadchan. And I want to tell you something else. And the shadchanim are all going to pelt me with eggs now. If you call the matchmaker, and they don't answer, call them again. And if they don't answer again, call them again. Now watch, by the way, all the matchmakers are going to forward their numbers to me now. Watch. Okay? Says the Piluetz, don't give up. And don't be embarrassed. Pursue it and pursue it. Be persistent. Because you're pursuing something that is indescribable. The Kedusha that you're going to attain, the holiness that you're going to obtain is indescribable, insurmountable. So therefore be persistent and take your egos and put it on the side. Don't allow your ego to prevent you from getting married. Put your egos away. And I'll tell you why. You ready? Listen to this. Gemara Masechet Avodah Zarah. Daf Nunei Amud Aleph comes and writes about suffering. Leila, are you listening now? Okay? Listen to this. And the Gemara writes like this. When a person has suffering, listen very carefully. When they send it to someone, any type of suffering in life, when it's sent to people, listen very carefully. God tells the suffering, you're only going to leave on a specific day. You're only going to leave when the person goes to a certain doctor or takes a certain medicine. That means, I believe, that whatever comes first, that's going to cause the suffering to leave. Whether it's a specific day, a specific doctor, or a specific medicine. Whatever precedes, whatever comes first, that's going to cause the suffering to leave. And people that are single, that are looking for their match, are suffering. That dating process is suffering. Just ask my wife. Okay? Suffering. And that suffering has a limit to it. There's a time limit, or it could be solved by going to the right person, or by doing the right thing. And who's the doctor? These matchmakers. So therefore, if you went to one doctor and they weren't able to cure you, don't stop going to the doctors. Go to another doctor and yet another doctor until you find the doctor that's finally going to rid you of such ailments, cure you of such illnesses, and get you married. Don't stop and don't give up. Take your ego and put it aside and get married. Finally, I like this Gemara. Gemara writes like this. Everybody ready? Here we go. In Eretz Yisrael, when a man used to marry a woman, they say the following. Matzah or motzeh? They would come to him and say, are you a matzah guy or a motzeh guy? What's a matzah guy? What's a motzeh guy? What do you mean? Dichtiv, matzah isha matzah tov. Right? The pasuk writes, if you found a woman, you found good. One second. There's another pasuk. Pasuk writes, Umotze ani man memevet et isha. I am finding that the woman is more bitter than death. So when a guy gets married, they ask, which one do you have? Did you find a good wife? Or did you find bitterness? Okay? I hope they don't ask next to the wife, because then everyone says, I found a good wife. Okay? What determines if you found a good wife or a bitter wife? What determines if life is sweet in that union, or chas v'shalom, it's unpalatable? Well, Chacham Ovadia says what it is. Everybody ready? Listen to the words of Chacham Ovadia Yosef. Says Chacham Ovadia, what do you mean matzah or motzeh? I don't understand. Listen very carefully. He says it depends who you think found it for you. What do you mean? Motzeh ani shetoleh hadavar be'atzmo. Motzeh ani. If you think that a marriage is a result of your, your correspondence, of your diligence, of your pickup lines. If you think that you're getting married because of you, says over here, if I believe that it's because of my efforts that I'm getting married, says Chacham Ovadia, that marriage is going to come out in bitterness. But if you realize that your marriage is a result of God, matzah, who's matzah? God's matzah. Then, beautiful, matzah isha matzah tov. The Gemara Masechet Kiddushin, the Flaminum Bet, comes and writes that there are three partners in every person. There's my mother, Shia B'riyah, my father, Shia Bari, and there's God. So that means in every union, every time I get married, there are three partners. The boy, the girl, and God. Ladies and gentlemen, you go out on a date. You come back on the date. Do you discuss it with anybody? Well, yeah, sure, I discussed it with my mommy. Bad idea. No, that's a good idea. Who else? Oh, with the Shadchan. Good. Do you discuss it with God? Do you stand in Amidah and say, Borei Olam, you know what? I went out with a guy today. Okay, his voice is a little squeaky. He goes, hi, right? But he's a sweetheart of a guy. The guy was so nice. He was so calm. He was so patient. I took half an hour. By the way, don't take half an hour to get ready. What is that? I don't understand. The guy's waiting his whole life to meet you. Can't he come on time? Okay? And guys, be on time. Girl has to wait for you. I don't understand. Anyway, He waited for me. But that voice is really ringing in my ear. It's annoying. Is that what I want? Happy anniversary, right? Borei Olam, you're my third partner. What do? You give me that knowledge. Implant in me that decision. Help me come to realization what the next step after this is going to be. Do I consult the third partner before I go into this business? So that's the final tip. With every date, I bring my care and concerns to God. And I say, Hashem, I'm only a third partner here. You got 33%. What do you say about this business? Do we proceed or do we abstain? Do we continue or do we terminate? Take advice from Hashem Yitbarach. Turn to God in tefillah and say, Borei Olam, I need you. Guide me in this one. Show me the right way. Direct me. Is this a person I should spend the rest of my life with? Or maybe there's someone better out there for me. And Mikavel Hashem, Bitachon Borei Olam is going to come through and show you what to do. So let's go over the 6 tips of tonight's class. And then Bezat Hashem will give you directions what's going to happen now, because it's going to get a little interesting. Everybody ready? Here we go. Tip number 1, be the best person you could be. Because if you're the best person you could be, you're going to meet a person on your level that's going to acclimate with you, that's going to fulfill you, complete you. Number 2, when looking for that bat zug or ben zug, look for a person now that's like you, but someone who compliments you. Someone's going to make you the best person you can be. Number 3, we said that when we're looking in a family, it's not enough to look for superficial things, but look for midot that I'm looking for and make sure that they're retained in those families. Number 4, don't be superficial. Looks change, clothing are not important. Remember the Z box, okay? Very good. Number 5, put away ego. Just go for it. So imagine a person has a business and you have a customer, okay? Are you going to be saying, you know what? This one, I'm not selling to him. You crazy? You go after every dollar. And here, go after every date. And number 6, consult your partner. Borei Olam, Daddy, you're my father. You're my partner. You're my guide. Am I doing what's right in life or not? If we take these 6 dictums, these 6 precedents, and we apply them to every date that we go on, and every person that we meet, and every boy that we go out with, and every girl that we date, then Be'ezat Hashem, within the next couple of months, not on Monday night, Be'ezat Hashem, we'll be celebrating our weddings together. Be'ezat Hashem. Amen. I thank you so much for joining us, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's class. Baruch Adonai, Amen, Amen.